Some stories are whispered in school corridors. Others are buried under silence. This one stayed with me. Based on a true encounter. She Walks After Midnight. A true horror story.
It happened to me about a year ago. And still, sometimes, I wonder. I imagine it all? Or did I survive something that can't be explained? Back then, I was in my final year of school. Exams were coming up fast. Pressure. It was unbearable. The school library had become my second home. Quiet. Orderly. Safe. Normally, it closed at 5. Because of exams, the school extended the hours until midnight. Meant more time to prepare. Or at least, that's what I told myself. My house isn't far from the school, just a 10-minute walk. Instead of studying at home, with distractions and noise. Preferred the calm of the library. Looking back. Maybe that silence was a mistake. It was a Tuesday, I think. Remember it rained earlier in the day. The sky was still a dull gray when I left home at 6. No stars. No moon. Just clouds hanging low like they were watching me. Reached the school, pushed open the heavy library doors, and settled into my usual spot. Second table near the history shelves, by the window. There were, not unusual, really. But something off about the stillness that night. Not just quiet. Empty. Hours passed. The clock ticked steadily. The sound of my pen scratching paper. My breathing. That was all I could hear. And suddenly. Nothing. Not silence. I'm talking about the kind of stillness where even your heartbeat feels like an echo. Sound itself is swallowed. And you realize. You are completely alone. Checked my watch. I had never stayed that late. Normally, I left by 8. There'd always be someone. Librarian, a couple of students. But that night, I was the last one. Myself. 15 more minutes, then go. Tried to focus. But then, sound. Limping footsteps. Soft. Uneven. Like someone dragging their leg slowly across the floor. Step. Step. I couldn't see anyone. My heart started pounding. Stood up slowly. Peered between the bookshelves. Nothing. Rows of dark wood and old books. Still. The sound grew louder. Step. 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 Up. Grabbed my things and bolted for the door. Didn't look back. Didn't breathe. Outside the library is a long hallway. Fluorescent lights flickered overhead. Every step I took echoed off the cold tiled walls. Then, I saw her. Standing at the far end of the hallway. She wasn't facing me. I could feel her watching. Lights above her were out. She stood, still as stone. I don't know why, but I whispered. Who's there? She didn't move. Speak. When I blinked. Gone. Completely. Gasped, stepped back. And into the wall behind me. Wanted to run. I don't know how, but eventually, I forced myself to the exit. I pushed open the doors and stepped into the street outside. That's when I realized something was wrong again. The whole street was empty. Not a car. Not a person. Not even a stray dog. The silence. It followed me. Kept walking, head down, trying to make sense of things. Must have been halfway home when I saw it. Shadow on the pavement. Long. Reaching toward me. There was no one there. Looked up slowly. And then I saw her again. The woman. This time, she was walking ahead of me. Slowly. Head tilted, as if her neck was broken. Her arms hung limply. Picked the ground. Her clothes were shredded, and soaked like she'd crawled out of a river. I don't know what it was. Pity, horror, or pure survival. Kept walking behind her. Not trying to pass. Trying to stop. Could hear her breathing. Shallow. Wet. Thing trapped underwater. Then, she turned around. I still can't describe it. Half was missing. The other half looked like it was trying to smile. And then she spoke. You seen my daughter? Answer. I wanted to scream, to run. I was stuck in place. I pointed. Anyway, just away from me. Looked where I pointed. Then turned. And started walking toward the dark. Thought that was it. I didn't think, didn't breathe. And until my legs gave out. Then, I heard her. Behind me. Scream, she's here. And everything went black. I woke up in my room. Mr. Dalton had found me unconscious on the sidewalk. He said I was muttering something in my sleep. Something about the daughter. Didn't remember anything. But I remembered everything else. Later, Mr. Dalton told me a story I wish I'd never heard. Back in 1998, there was a woman named Mirella Harper. A daughter named Hannah. Hannah went to Eden Hill School, my school. Afternoon, she had a tragic accident on the playground. Died instantly. Mirella lost her mind. She wandered the streets at night, calling out for her daughter. Until one day, she vanished. No one found her body. But ever since, people say they've seen a twisted woman wandering the school halls. The street, calling for her lost child. Times. She finds someone she thinks is her daughter. And now, every time I walk home at night, every time I pass the library or glance down a long hallway, I feel her watching. I hear the dragging footsteps. And I pray. Doesn't mistake me for her child.
Sometimes, they say, the dead never leave. Especially when they're still looking for someone.